Hi, this is Paula from Alanda Craft, and in this video I thought I'd go through some of the problems you might encounter when you're trying to weld text, and I'll show you how to fix them. Okay, so this font is a font that was sent to us by someone who's having problems welding this, and I can see why, because it's a very messy font. So what I'm going to do is show you the process I go through to try to fix this. Now you can see it's ready for welding, it's all lined up nicely. So if I try to weld this, select everything and right click and weld, you can see what I get is this message: cannot execute this operation with an open or intersecting path. And you might see this quite often if you're working with Canvas. It seems to come up all the time. What it means is, I'll actually show you as I go through. So what I normally do first is, if I get that message when I'm trying to weld, what I do is grab each letter. So I grab a letter first and see if there is a problem with the letter itself. And the way I do that is to right click on the letter and try and weld it on its own. And I still get that message, so I know there's a problem with that letter. All right, so let's zoom in on it. Okay, and what you really want to be looking at here is any sort of problems with it. And I can see there's a problem here, so I'm going to zoom in even more on that. Okay, you can see that this black line here is the path. Okay, and you can see what's happening. There's an overlap. So remember that message we saw, it said an overlapping or intersecting path? That's the problem, is the path has been overlapped. The way I'm going to fix this is, first of all, I'll double click on it, and you can see you get all the nodes appear. Now it's very messy at the moment because we're not only getting these blue nodes, but we're getting these control points. We don't need those control points, these other little dots, so I'm going to hide those. So I'm just left with the blue ones. And yeah, there's a cluster of a lot of nodes there, and we don't need all of those. So really all you need to do is delete some of these nodes. So if I click on one and come up here, you can see the delete point option. I'm going to click on that, and that deletes that node. I'll click on another one, delete, and that one. See, that one I wouldn't delete because that's deleting that whole line there, and it's probably essential to the actual letter here. I just usually delete the little ones. See this one here? I can probably delete that as well. Okay, so that's tidied that up. Now I think that's fixed it, but the only way I'm going to know is by trying to weld this again to see if I get the message come up. So just click away to get rid of the nodes, and then click on it, right click and weld. Okay, it's no more messages coming up, so I know that has fixed that letter. All right, let's zoom out, pop the letter back there, grab the next one. And I already know this one's a problem child because I can see straight away there. If I zoom in on it, there we go. You can see that there. There's this big cluster of mess again. Okay, so we do the same we did before. We double click on it to get the nodes show. So let's double click on it. And you can see there I've double clicked, but there's no nodes showing. You might think, well, what's happened there? The reason for this is grouped. And the way I know that, if I come up here, you can see this message appear. Mat object 2. It's a bit of a weird message, but basically it means that this shape here is grouped. There's shapes within the shape, so it's been grouped together. So I'm just going to click mat again to close that message. And what I'm going to do is click on this shape, this letter, and right click and ungroup. So now you can see all the shapes are separated out. So now I'll be able to double click on each of these to fix them. So I can double click on this shape here, double click to get the nodes appearing again, and you can see again there's a cluster of nodes here. So click on one, delete, click on that one, delete, and that's probably fixed it. If I click on that, yes, so I don't really want to delete that. So hopefully that has fixed it. But what I have to do is check it again by welding. So I'm going to group it back up again, highlight everything, group it to get it back where it was. Now let's click on it, right click and weld. Okay, we don't get that message anymore, but what we're getting now is the shapes disappearing. And that's what happens when there's shapes within shapes. If you try to weld anything with a shape within a shape, the middle parts are going to disappear. Okay, so that happens with the letter O, B's, things like that, E, lowercase e's and that sort of thing. The middle will disappear. So I'm going to undo that, get it back to where it was. So the way around that, what we need to do is subtract. Okay, so what I'm going to do is ungroup again, get it all back where it was, so it's back all together there, and I'm going to highlight everything and then right click and subtract, and there we go. So that should be okay now. All right, so again, the last thing I do just to make sure everything's working is right click and weld. All right, it's all working. The middle's not disappearing. I'm not getting the error message, so I know that this is perfect now. So the O is fixed. So I can move that back up. Now we've got the M. So let's right click to see if we get that message with it when we try to weld. And we are, so there's a problem with that M as well. So let's zoom in, and I can see straight away there's problems with it. There's lots of little issues here. Let's zoom right in. Okay, you can see it's very messy. There's a mess here, it's overlapping here, definitely messy, and maybe even here. So let's double click on it to get the nodes showing. And what I'll do is I'll start over this side. I'll delete that one. Okay, it's still looking like it's overlapping to me, so I'll just leave that there for a second though. Let's go back over to this one because there's plenty here we can delete. Oops, double click again. And that one's there, which I don't really want to delete, and that's there. But to me that still doesn't look right. But anyway, I'll fix this one here because this is very messy too. Alright, let's fix that. The rest is looking okay. Okay, we'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to be right with this because they still look like they're overlapping each other. But I'm going to test it by right clicking and welding, see if I still get the message, and I am. So there is still issues here. I don't really want to delete that one, but what I might do is delete this one here. See if the letter still looks okay. It does. So that's still forming a nice M there. And then this one, maybe I'll try deleting this one. Yep, okay. So let's try that now. Again, I'll right click and weld to just see if I get that message. And I'm not. So that's fixed that. Okay, so I can bring that one back up now. Okay, and here's another one, A. Again, I'll right click and weld to see if I get that message. I don't get the message, but what I'm getting is the middle of the A disappearing when I try to weld. So let's undo. And what I need to do here is ungroup, first of all, and then I'm going to highlight everything, and then right click and subtract. Okay, and that should be right. But the last thing I always do still is I right click and weld just to make sure I don't get that message again, and that's fine. So that has been fixed as well. Okay, the N, again, same problem. Okay, we see here, I'm going to right click and weld first, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that message because I can see there's a mess there. Yep. So again, double click and then get rid of some of these points. Oops, double click. That one and that one. Alright, there might even be still overlapping there. Let's just weld it and see if we get that message still. Yep, still an issue there. Might have to delete that. Let's see what happens. Yep. Right click and weld. Okay, no longer getting the message, so I know that's fine. Okay, put that there. The C, right click, weld. So even that is having problems. So, and there it is down there. You can see that section down there, I think, is the issue. Again, click, delete, click, maybe there, delete, there, and delete. Okay, hopefully that's fixed it, but let's right click and weld. Yeah, that's fine, so that one's fixed. And then we'll go with the E. Zoom in and let's right click and weld. Yep, problems with that as well. This one is grouped as well, so this is, let's see, so I've got to ungroup it first, and then I think there's a problem here first of all. Yep, look at the mess there. Maybe not that one, but that one I'll delete. That one I'll delete. Hopefully that's fixed that, and maybe even here we might have issues possibly. I don't want to delete those yet. Let's just test it first. So I'm going to group it back together and then right click and weld to test. And that's, well, it's worked. I'm not getting the error message anymore, but the middle has come out of there. So let's undo, ungroup, select everything, right click and subtract. Alright, so that's good. And then I do a final test just to make sure I'm not getting the error message anymore, and I'm not, so that one has fixed as well. Okay, so I'd put that back up there. Now at this point I'd line them up properly. I've just been basically plonking them back up there, so they're probably not lined up very well. But as soon as I line them up properly, what I can do now is highlight everything, right click and weld. And you can see that's now welding without any error messages and without any problems. Okay, so that's the process I go through when trying to fix these messy sort of fonts. It's a lovely font, looks really nice, but yeah, it has a lot of issues with in terms of the nodes when it's being brought into ScanNCut Canvas. So once they're fixed, you'll be able to weld them. So hopefully that was helpful to our reader, and hopefully helpful to other people who have the same issue. Give us a thumbs up if it was, and you can subscribe to our channel. We've got a ton of ScanNCut videos. Check the link in the description field below for a playlist. And we've also got a training academy where we teach people more advanced skills, and even if you're a newbie, we have a nice starter program there for you to get started, to get your ScanNCut out of the box, because I know a lot of people still have their ScanNCut in the box and still haven't used them. So check that out. We'll have all the links in the description field below. So thanks for watching.